Hurricane Helen. I'm sure you're all feeling the brunt of it, is what you're feeling. Let me flip this around. I want to see if I can that light is a little too bright. Let me see if I can dim this okay, let me shrink it, you all. We got the hurricane coming. I wanted to get on here before any power goes out, because they're gonna probably lose some power. I want to get over here to the yeah. Hold on, you all. We can do it. We're gonna get the radar of this hurricane. Hey there, Apple Brooks, honey. How you doing over there in Missouri? You got any hurricane stuff coming at you? No, I don't want to. I don't want no whatever. I'm trying to get this map with this hurricane. You see this? Let me see. Where is it at right now? This is not as dramatic as some area. Did it come through this area over here? It's already made its way through the Gulf. Look at it blinking. I wonder what the real-time lightning strikes are about. Y'all, people have made contingency plans. All these organizations have made the contingency plans for the hurricane. Good morning. Let's find the real-time lightning to see how the real-time lightning data is right here, because who knows what that's going to look like. We're going to put the weather map on it. Yes, hello there, Pippi. You're going to do a job in Georgia. Awaken, I bet you are, because they already sent trucks up ahead of time, they said, to all of these places where the hurricane was going to be coming. Hello, Jim Brown. Let me see if I can get this radar up and going over here. I want the 24-hour radar. That's what I want, and I'm sure I want the counter on. I want all the data, lightning maps. Oh, my nose is they even look at this, what they've done. They changed their data. They got the lightning maps, they got bits zong, and they got testing. Okay. I'm going to come over here on the map. I'm going to pull up the radar so we can see it. But there's companies that have made their contingency plans for this. I'm going to get the stations. I'm going to get the lines. I'm going to get the coverage. Overview map of the area with circles. Oh, no, that's too red. It's too red, y'all. I got to get it off of there. Hold on. We're going to get the lightning map, because the winds are picking up here, too. It's picking up a lot of places. I want to see if we can get a rain radar. That'd be great. Have the rain radar. Hold on. Satellite imagery. Okay, I think we got it. We have got it. No, I don't want I don't want my location here. Let's see if we can get you all. The lightning, the data from this hurricane. I'm gonna get these lightning strikes. 24,000. It's literally. Why is it coming from down here? You have to ask yourself, why would the lightning come from down here? Anyhow, they got contingency plans right here. It's barreling up through here. This is Columbus, Atlanta, Georgia, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Lexington. If you're just tuning in, it's awful right now. Dark. Phoenix, Angel in South Carolina. Grand Rising. The governor is saying how bad it is in Georgia. It looks really bad. Let's look at the latest updates. The tropical storm has weakened to a tropical storm, and it's now moving north across Georgia, bringing strong winds and heavy rain. It's a life-threatening conditions. You do not be out in this life-threatening conditions thinking, oh, well, I can do it. Your car will probably get blown off the street. And if your car doesn't, somebody else may. And you may have torrential rainfall. 5 a.m., 40 miles east of Macon, Georgia, with sustained winds of 70 miles per hour. It made landfall in Big Bend region, Category 4, last night at 11:10. It's moving fast. Do y'all think it's moving fast? The hurricane, good morning. Are already rescuing people trapped by fast rising waters. Do not go out in this, you all. A warning surge of 10 feet is still in place along Florida. Right there. You live in the desert, and it's good luck to everybody. A driver was killed. He fell onto their car in Tampa last night. They died. Tornado overturned their mobile home. 3.5 million people without power across Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia amid fears the outages could last for weeks. For weeks. Wow. 4 weeks, that outage. Hello. You awaken. Yeah, you're north of it. It's going to come here to you. If you didn't prepare, if you got a time to prepare, I prepare. If you're around this area right here, I'm trying to get this. No, I don't want to see this thing right here. It's literally blowing up through here. There were contingency plans. So let me get to where I said the hospitals are prepping for the Hurricane Helen transfers, generators, staffing, contingencies. You know, a lot of people do plan for that. A lot of hospitals for years and years and years and years for something like this to happen. The dude's already staged to jump on it when it's finished. All night long. It's your prayers, you all. We got prayers. Gracious Heavenly Father, may you be with everyone who's in the path of this hurricane. Those who are no longer in the path, but they are experiencing the aftermath. Just be with all of us. Keep your hand over us and help us to have this peace that passes all understanding on the inside of us. In the name of precious Jesus, amen. Now, there are a lot of people need prayers, you all. Hurricane Helen. Tracking storm, possible contingency plans for Clemson. Where's Clemson at? Do y'all know where Clemson is? I don't know where it is. South Carolina ramps up their emergency response to the hurricane. Some people don't evacuate despite repeated hurricane warnings because they can't. That is true. You can't. You ain't got no way out. No way out. Healthcare centers are activating emergency plans ahead of the hurricane. You can see that right there. What on earth? If you're just tuning in, you all, this is, don't tell me that's a healthcare center on right there by the water, right there. It was polite here. That's very nice. Tampa, healthcare emergency plan ahead of hurricane. That was on the 25th. Wow. I really hope that this hospital is not really right there by the river or the ocean. Another storm is rolling in and comes in 2 weeks. Jay Ferris, is it coming from, well, this is, my nose is tickling all of a sudden. My right side, that's not good. When the right side of my nose is tickling, it is not good. Look at this right here. This was this is the hurricane, the tropical storm wind probabilities from 120 hours, 5 days from 2 p.m. to September 23rd to September 28th. This is what's going to fill it. But you know what is going to happen? Oh my gosh, the gain's a cyclone, a potential tropical cyclone 9. Okay, it's not a 9 in the thing, you all. Let's try to look at this stuff right there. There were places making contingency plans all over the place. FEMA, oh wow, it's headed straight to this area, right along this area right here. 5 a.m. you all, you just tuning in, hello. It's raining all day in Nashville. Nika. Well, I'm not too happy of a soul with all this stuff done with this right here because there's other people's lives that are in danger and stuff. Inland Trek Producing. Let me look at this Weather Channel. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at it. It's like you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of, get that off of there. It reminds me of football games when they draw their little game plans, how they show how the...
At Tires Plus, we know it's a great feeling.
How they show how the players are going to do this right there. They do their arrows and things like that with the, that's what it looked like a game plan. Are they through with that thing yet? I wanted to see that. Gotta wait for that thing to go. It's gotta, my goodness gracious, we gotta wait for it. It's gonna end in 15 seconds. Good morning, everyone. The hurricane season each year, they said it would be more intense because of the sun. And if there was a planetary system coming in, it would truly impact the weather systems of the world too. They said that too. I remember that. Let me see what she got to say.
Made landfall as a Category 4 storm in Florida's Big Bend late Thursday night. Helene has now weakened to a tropical storm, but that doesn't mean the flood or wind threat has diminished. Helene is still going to bring tropical storm force winds and heavy rain to portions of the southeast and Tennessee Valley Friday as it gets pulled to the northwest. Highest flood threat will exist across western North Carolina and Virginia and across western Tennessee.
You're gonna feel it, you all. It's kind of close to the New Madrid fault. It could put heavy pressure on the fault. It could. Look at that Roanoke right up here in this area. If you are there, let me see what you got to say.
Landslides are a big concern in the southern Appalachians. Landslides are a big concern in the southern Appalachians. The flood threat continues Saturday as Helene merges with an upper low and barely moves. A few tornadoes will be possible Friday with the best chances across the Carolinas.
Oh, look at that. Are they going to add an ad? Across, y'all having it right there. It is the loss of energy. That's right. The loss of energy. And they've already got, what are they? I wanted to see the lightning maps. See what was happening. Oh, it's happening. This is the real-time lightning maps. Let's just get the regular imaging. I don't need the satellite image at all. I don't need the satellite image. Let me get the satellite image off of there because the satellite image, where's it at? Down here. Get the rain, get the rain radar off of there. I don't want to see the satellite image. Maybe I just want the terrain. Yeah, just get the terrain. This is what it's looking like right here at the real-time lightning. It may not look that bad right now. It's still these lightnings that looks kind of messy. It does. These lightnings from the hurricane. Remember we looked at this, was it a few weeks ago? Or maybe not even that area right there. It is like plastered. There's 23,000 lightning strikes in this one area. But that's at the hurricane. Let me look at this right here. It's going up. If you're all in that area, there is 1.2 million people without power after Helene. 1.2 million. What's happening where you're all at? Gina, honey, I got to pick up. Okay, I got something I have to pick up. Am I going to go out in this rain? I don't know if I'm going to go out in the rain. I doubt I'm going out in the rain because the wind is picking up and the rain is DARPA. 985 north, you got it going on. If you're just tuning in, it is out there. The hurricane, the wind from the hurricane is coming, and the other one is coming also. Let me show you something. Watch this. Watch this, you all. FedEx contingency. Are we going to go somewhere else? Contingency plan hurricane. This is the FedEx Postal Service. The hurricane, FedEx, U.S. Postal Service, the supply chain. Okay, I don't care about that. The Hurricane Helene, FedEx, U.S. Postal Service halts some Florida deliveries. Of course, you ain't going to be out in. If you're thinking you're going to get mail today in Florida, you're not, because they halted the weather. Look at the roads. Of course, this is kind of normal when a storm rolls through, I would assume, if you're just tuning in. All the banks will be gone. Well, the banks are going to be open soon. What's going to happen? Are you going to go to the bank? Click that button, please. Y'all hit that like button, praying for everyone in it. It's going to strike. They have, oh my gosh. This is supply chain news. What am I doing in supply chain news? I've never been in supply chain news. Okay, well, we're going to watch it. So the DHL supply chain trims Pennsylvania's warehouse network. The closure will impact nearly 270 employees with layoffs starting November the 10th. The 65% of the CFOs are under pressure to accelerate the ROI from tech investments. What is the ROI, you all? I can't remember what that is. What is an ROI? IBM, the money down the drain. Is what it's saying, money down the drain. No, money down the drain. Oh, return on investments. Nearly 2/3 of finance leaders surveyed by IBM said they are feeling pressure to accelerate their portfolio, identify the balance and stuff like that. Let me see the supply chain. Top 5 stories from the supply chain. Here's how companies are navigating the rising cost, network changes, logistics disruptions across the global supply chain. Biden-Harris administration tackles supply chain risks with new federal tool, a scale tool. Ollie's opens Illinois distribution, targeting westward. They're going west. Polymers. You're going to have polymers, you all. Hello. Meta Supply Chain. Meta Supply Chain lead cashed in at 2024 World Series. Fed rate unlikely. Okay, supply chain. Amazon offers sellers fully managed supply chain solutions. Everything's happening. It's going, but you got the hurricane going, and they're making plans. Let me see that. Just press the news again, you all. Oh my gosh, I don't know what else to do about it. I can't. We're gonna see a domino effect. That's what's gonna happen. The domino effects have begun. FEMA. What are you saying, FEMA? My left palm is itching. Multi-state event as hurricane. Okay, remember that? FEMA is hiring people. They had been hiring people $30 an hour. So, and they were actively doing it. Biden-Harris administration prepared for multi-state as Hurricane Helene approaches. FEMA encourages people in the storm's path to listen to the local officials. The battleground states are under attack. Yes, they are. You won't be going to polls if the electricity stays out for quite some time. Early mail-in ballots are going to get lost in the hurricanes and stuff like that. The disruption to the postal office and stuff is going to have some missing things like that. Probably you're going to have some missing mail. If you did not evacuate, you're supposed to stay at home. Now's the time to finish your preparations. Today is the day to prepare for this storm. If today is your yesterday, it's too late now. It's too late because you're already in the storm. You're in it. Finish gathering your supplies, they said. Finish gathering any supplies like food, water, medication, flashlights, and food for your pets now. If possible, include cash in your emergency kit, as ATMs may not work after the storm. They're already telling you this, you all. If you're in these areas and you ain't got no electricity and stuff, if you didn't prepare ahead of time, well, you're not watching this live stream if your power's out. Let's just say that. You're not watching this YouTube channel. You're not. You're living in Florida. You just saw your mailman delivering mail. Wow, I'm in Indiana. Be in the know. Have several ways to receive alerts. I'm sure their cell phone towers will be up and going. Your neighbors are your lifeline, and that is true. Your neighbors are your lifeline. Some may not have neighbors that are their lifeline. Stay out of the flood water. Turn around. Do not drown. Keep important documents safe. You all know where your documents are. This is FEMA. They were hiring, is what they were doing. They were hiring. If you're just tuning in, it's you're in a hurricane, and no, it's happening. The maps. This doesn't. We got hurricanes here, and there's more coming. Yeah. Don't forget, you all. Marion County, you have power too. I'll be fine here. I'll get a lot of rain and wind, is what I'll get. Heavy rain, and there'll be trees that go down. There will be like landslides along the main road, because in the forestry, you have to go through the forestry to get to a lot of houses where I live, and they already have in the wash away. Every time it rains and it floods, the trees literally fall from the mudslides in the road, and emergency crews are out there and with their chainsaws and stuff cleaning it up, and or the local people, they're out there with their chainsaws and pulling it off so they can have passage through the road that comes here. So you may have that also, you all, something like that going on. Yeah, good morning. If you're just tuning in, Gwinnett County, and you're okay. Just continue to rain and some breeze. You all, you truly should, whether you made it through the storm and you got power, you really should have an emergency supply, at least up to 2 weeks of shelf-stable food, and what they recommended. You should a source of light and canned goods and first aid kit and a little cash. Know where your important documents are. You may say, I have no idea where they are. Well, if you do know where they are, you might want to put them in one place. That way you have it. Yeah, you may. Just saying, you just might. It's who said there's another hurricane coming? Let's see the planetary system. The strikes in the news on today, the supply train, port strikes possible. Let's see, was this the day they were going to strike? Okay, the port strikes. Let me write that down. Port strikes. Yeah. The port strikers from Maine to Texas are set to strike Tuesday. Expects shortages. 19 hours ago, a looming port strike could fuel inflation and cause layoffs. Of course, it's going to. They fear port strike will paralyze half of the U.S. trade. Well, that's not Donald Trump's fault. East Coast port strike looms for the first time since 1977. That's serious. That is serious, you all. If it's 1977, that is, you want to pay attention to that. Wow. You know, they actually have live webcams where you can watch the ports because we watch plasma in those port areas right there. Thousands of dock workers at every major East and Gulf Coast port are girding to strike starting early next week. Well, this just adds the icing, the icing on the cake. Actually, it's like the icing. The cake is built. The cake is being destroyed, really, if you think about it. You had a cake. You got a hurricane come through, if it can. You already have things happening. And then you have these right here. Negotiations between union representing the dock workers, our shipping industry, terminal operators, ocean carriers have been stalled for months, with both sides this week issuing conflicting statements about their willingness to bargain. You know, that they're going to shut everything down. Someone said, stop economic growth and you stop global warming. But you're going to have a stopping of everything. Hey, Al, honey. Get our batteries of all sizes. They want to negotiate a deal. Experts say a shutdown could severely, you know what severe means? It's very bad. Hamper the flow of goods and raising shipping costs. Any spike in such expense could be passed to the consumers. Oh, it will be. Just as U.S. inflation normalizes and even potentially hinder the Federal Reserve as it finally pivots to lowering the interest rates. What are the key issues? 45,000 dock workers, international longshoremen associations threatening to strike from Massachusetts to Texas if a new labor deal with the USMX isn't reached before the current expire midnight September the 30th. Did they ever pass a budget yet? Because in October starts the new fiscal budget. The total layoff, 25,000 from here's all the places that you can be impacted. A total of 14 ports involving 25,000 could be affected from Baltimore, Boston, Charleston, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, Miami, Houston, Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, New York, New Jersey, Norfolk, Virginia, Philadelphia, Savannah, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Wilmington, and Delaware. The wage of $39 an hour after 6 years on the job, significantly less than your unionized West Coast. They get $54 an hour, a rate of $60 in 2020. Look at that, you all. So this is serious. You got stuff happening. Yeah. Listen to this. 68%. The strike handles more than 68% of all containerized exports in the U.S. and roughly 56% of containerized import. So even a short strike could cause significant disruptions in regional trade flows. One analysis estimated the U.S. economy $5 billion a day. It's, you've got it going on. You got the hurricane. It could last a month or so. Yeah. Auto, it says some companies could face shortages of parts of other inputs. The auto and pharmaceutical industries, which maintain lean inventories, they have a very small inventory. It's very thin. Pharmaceuticals, that could mean whatever medicine you're taking, you may not be able to get it because they ain't going to have no things to I think there's only like, 2.5 days of, if even that, inside warehouses of stores that they could touch on before all the stuff is gone. And if people go into the stores all at once, they'll empty them out. Pharmaceuticals could be particularly affected. They will be particularly affected. Exports of cars and other products are moved from East Coast could be impacted. Now you're not gonna be able to get your bananas probably. The strike could hamper your shipments of products such as bananas. And I'm reading it, you are right here. It's coming next week too, along with this hurricane. Manufacturing components of plywood, the flow of consumer goods, parts of factories, fresh meat. You want a fresh meat? You may not get your fresh meat. And other refrigerated food could spoil, resulting in the shortages. They're going to set on the shipping containers. They're going to sit there and they are going to rot. They're going to rot where they sit. That's what I said. You got some fresh meat, it ain't going to be no good. It's literally going to rot. Chances are. I think everyone's a bit nervous, says Mia Ginter, director of the North America Ocean Shipping for C.H. Robinson Logistics. The rhetoric this time with the ILA is at a level we've never seen before. Hey, that's a phrase Trump says, haven't seen before. That's really interesting. The ripple effects, you all. This is true. This is serious what's happening. You got the hurricane, you got the strikes looming, you got the political calamities that are happening around the world. You got lots of drama, all in the news. The ripple effect of the strike would affect other related work, especially if you're in the warehousing. Warehousing and transport, meaning up to 105,000 workers could find themselves temporarily out of work, estimates Oxford Economics. The labor dispute also comes at a time when the Federal Reserve is closely monitoring the signs of weakening. The Fed should look through any temporary weakness and stuff. How are you preparing? The companies are already preparing. If the companies are preparing and you see headlines like that, why aren't you preparing? Really? If you have big companies preparing, why aren't you preparing? Do you see the writing on the wall? It's not in pencil. No, it's in ink. Let's hope it isn't in blood. Let's hope that. The writing is on the wall. It truly is. The companies are preparing. They're already laying off people. And that ain't even that. But it could be that. It could be that. The people are broke. Well, you can prepare with what you do have. You can get your house in order. Get your stuff, situate your stuff. You can go get some salt. Get a canister of salt. It's 67 cents. You can get some macaroni. It's 99 cents a box. Pasta has an extremely long shelf life. Very long. I have pasta that I had bought at the Meijer when we first moved back here. We moved back here in 2004 from the military. And I think it was in 2005 that Meijer had their macaroni, a whole box of macaroni, seashells and stuff on sale for 25 cents each. Do you know, I bought several cases of it. I bought more than 2. I still have a partial case of it downstairs in my basement, stuffed under a shelf, and it's still good. You may say, well, Gina, it's going to get bugs in it. You know what? If you're hungry, you don't care if it has little bitty floating shells. You sift it out. You put your macaroni and stuff through a sifter, or you just lay it out. Even if it boils, let me tell you something. Even if it boils, if it's pasta, you see like a little debris from there, just strain it out. If you're hungry enough, you're going to eat it. This is true. If you're hungry enough, you're going to eat it. Food won't save you. Well, it'll go a long way if you are starving to death. How about that? There comes a time when common sense got to override the one thing when people say, well, I'm not going to store. I'm not going to store up. I'm not going to prepare because the Lord's going to take care of me. I don't need to prepare for nothing. There's a lot of people that believe in the Lord. There's a lot of people that believe in God. But they're like the 5 virgins. 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. Remember that story? You don't want to be like the foolish ones. You can take that literally. You can prepare. You can do some basic preparations, like 2 weeks worth. Here's what I do. I buy a little at a time. Every time I go to grocery, I will pick up 1 or 2 items. I've been doing that for years. For years. 1 or 2 items every time I go. Little by little. Yeah. Popcorn is good also. If you got rice and you got beans, you have a complete meal. You do. Even though the price of rice is rising now and the price of canned goods is rising and dry goods. And it's only going to get, it's like a quart of wheat for a day's wages and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wages, and do not harm the oil and the wine. Okay, you've had 6,000 years, 2,000 years since that was written, more or less, I guess. Whenever that Bible was written, you had all those years it's been in that Bible. A quart of wheat for a day's wages and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wages. You've had all these years, if you're a Bible thumper, to prepare because you knew what was coming, what was prophesied. If you believe in the Bible and you saw the writing, you saw the handwriting in the Bible telling you what would happen, and you did not prepare because you said the Lord will provide, and then you have the parables of the 5 wise and the 5 foolish, you have no one to blame but yourself. When you had the means to prepare, you had all those years, truly, to at least get at least 2 weeks supply or something. That's all I want to say about it. You've had all those years since that was written, the book of Revelation. You don't want to be back in the time in the Old Testament people ate their babies. Okay, that's disgusting. That's abhorrent. It's horrible. It's barbaric. You don't want to be like that. You want to believe in, well, the Lord's going to provide. Well, the Lord did provide. He wrote it in the King James Version. He wrote it in all the Bibles, what was going to happen in the book of Revelation. He said the Lord will provide. Yeah, he provided you a warning ahead of time. And Jesus himself, see, I have told you ahead of time. All heaven and hell will pass, or heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. How much warning do you need? He told you ahead of time what was going to happen. Till all these things take place. It'll be a time of distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world, never to be equaled again. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. No one. How much warning do you need? He told you how bad. A time of great, great tribulation. I think that's plenty enough time. And with all those parables that were written, yeah, you can have faith in God, but you should take preparations. You should get prepared. And this, I don't mean to be harsh, but how much warning do you need? Yeah. I'm going to go. Let me flip over here to this. What else is it going to be, you all? You may not like to hear it. You may not. Even a minor disruption will have a negative impact and cause delays at critical time for retailers and consumers. Is there a political extension? Oh, they got a political solution. If a strike were deemed to threaten national health or safety under the Taft-Hartley Act, President Biden could seek a court order for an 80-day cooling off period. He's going to do an executive order. Oh, my goodness gracious, you all. West Coast, looming strike, catastrophe, a catastrophe. We're going to have a catastrophic mutating event that's going to strike the earth in 2 years, and that was back in January of 2023. Well, we're nearing January of 2025. It just takes a while to build up the momentum for this catastrophic mutating event. It's going to be accumulation of all types of events. Catastrophic. It's going to have the whole kit and caboodle in it. Really. It's like when you have these things happen in your life. If it's not one thing and a half, it's another. When something happens, everything starts to happen. You ever notice that? Just when you think it couldn't get worse, it got worse. If it happens in your personal life, you know what happens in the real life on a big global scale, not just a micro scale. It is macro. We're not safe. It's good to have your faith in God. It's good to put your faith in God. It's good to have faith and hope on the inside. It's good to prepare yourself on the inside of here. It's good to get your life in order. It's good to prepare. By golly, if you got children, babies, animals, and you're able, you should prepare. You should. If you yourself feel, I don't need to, well, what about the other people you're responsible for? What about your neighbors? What about the elderly? If you had the means and you don't want to, that's all. Excuse me, y'all. I'm going to go. Gina, you lost a lot of subscribers with this video. That's so be it. So be it. This has not been happened since everything is coming to a head, you all. It truly is. Yeah. No. It's been planned out. It's been planned out for thousands of years. Hundreds of years. Been written in the Bible. If it's written in there, if you really believe everything it says, okay, it's been planned out because it's a look into the future. It's a look into the future There are apocalyptic books. There are prophecy books, prophetic books, which looked into the future. And if they were able to look into the future, that means it was planned into the future. I'm going to go. You got a hurricane. I really hope that you take action to stay safe. You got the power outages. Some people will be without power, they say, for weeks. It's true. I'm going to go, you all. So thank you for being on here. I'm just, come on. Don't. Look at this. Widespread power outages in southeastern U.S. states forecasts. Millions are without power. Let's just look up this one thing. The down detector. What's happening with the down detector? Let's see what's happening over here with them. Real-time power outages. Who's got some power outages? You got some Spectrum. You see it had something going on. Media, FPL, AT&T, Windstream, Duke Energy, Georgia Power, WOW, Citizens. When you see it like that, it means it's just happening. Verizon, T-Mobile, Infinity, X is kind of flat. Instagram, Cox, OpenAI, Frontier, MoneyGram, Hargray, Century. Facebook seems to be fine. YouTube's fine. Google, Bluehost, Cricket, McDonald's. These are, you can just even scroll down here without even going into them, and you can see what happened. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, I'm going to go. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, but please be safe and don't just take a lighthearted effect and just say, oh, nothing's going to happen. I don't need to prepare. The Lord's going to take care of me. Do you do what your father asked you to do? Your parents try to take care of you too. They really do, to protect you. And same way with God. Try to instruct you in the way that you go. Instruct you in the way you should go. Yeah, I'm going to go. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. Thank you, moderators. Thank you all for your comments.